Hi everyone, my name is Wenjie Pan. Today I will talk about two important things. First, how civil society affects global governance. Second, how power changes international negotiations. These ideas come from our course, International Institutions and Organizations. So, let me explain what civil society means. These are groups not run by governments. They are not business trying to make money. They include groups like environmental protectors, charities helping poor people, and organizations watching human rights. Civil society is getting more powerful in world politics. There are three main reasons why they are matter now. First, they know special things that governments don't. For example, when the World Health Organization makes rules about diseases, they listen to groups like Doctors Without Borders. These medical groups work in poor countries every day. They see problems first. Last year, their reports helped change vaccine rules for Africa. Second, they watch governments and tell people when leaders do bad things. Take Transparency International. Every year, they make a list showing which countries have the most corruption. In 2023, their report made three countries where dishonest officials. One was Brazil, where the president had to answer questions about stolen money. Third, they help normal people talk to powerful leaders. The best example is the 2015 Paris climate meeting. You know, over 3,500 citizen groups came from small island communities to big units because they shout together. The agreement included rules to help poor countries. Without them, only rich nations would decide. But civil society has big problems too. Sometimes dangerous groups pretend to be good. Our class reading Global Governance and NGOs gives scary examples. Oil companies like Exxon secretly play fake environmental groups. Fake environment groups. These groups say climate change isn't real. In 2022, journalists found Shell Oil gave $5 million to a clean energy group that actually fought against wind farms. Another problem is money. Good NGOs often don't have enough money. The UN says 60% of African human rights groups cannot pay their workers regularly. Meanwhile, bad groups have lots of company money. This makes it hard for honest voices to be heard. Still, civil society does what governments can't. They go where wars happen to help people. They protect forest companies want to cut down. And most importantly, they give you and me a voice in global decisions that affect our lives. Let's talk about power in global negotiations. Normally, big, strong countries get what they want. Yeah, the United States, China, and European nations often control decisions. But smaller countries have found smart ways to push back. Here are three methods that work. First, small countries can join together. When many weak countries unite, they become stronger. A good example is the Small Island States Group. These 39 island nations are suffering from rising sea levels. Alone, none of them matter much, but together in 2021, they forced bigger polluters like the US to create a special climate damage fund. Now this fund has over $500 million to help islands rebuild after storms. Second, smart countries use the rules to their advantage. All international organizations have rule books, and small countries can study this carefully. At the WTO, developing countries like India use special uh, clauses. One rule gives them 10 extra years to follow new environmental standards. This protects their factories and workers. Last year, Pakistan used the rule to delay plastic bans until 2030. Third, media pressure works. When rich countries behave badly, small countries can shame them publicly. In 2022, several African nations invited BBC journalists to film drought areas. The heartbreaking reports showed children starving because of climate change they didn't cause. Within weeks, Germany and Canada promised more aid money. Our professor, our professor taught an important idea in week 5 called BATNA, Best Alternative to Negotiated Agreement. This means big countries must always prepare backup plans before talks start. For example, when Australia negotiates with China about trade, they know China needs their area. So, even though China is big, Australia can insist on fair prices because they have other buyers ready. Another good BATNA example is Cuba's medical diplomacy. When negotiating with rich countries, Cuba offers their excellent doctors and vaccines. This gives them power they wouldn't have from just money or military strength. The lesson is clear. Power isn't just about size or wealth. Small countries that make smart plans use the rules creatively and tell their stories can win against giants. This gives hope to all smaller nations at the global table. To summarize, civil society makes global governance fairer. Power affects negotiations, but small players can change the game. This knowledge helped me because I want to work in international organizations. Thank you for watching.